2 weeks ago, I started selling on Etsy. It hasn't gone very well. In that time, I've listed 3 items on my Etsy store. I've gotten a total of 279 views, and I've gotten 1 view on each item with a favorite on the controller stand. So not ideal. And I think the biggest issue that I currently have is I just don't have enough stuff on the store. And that's because I was worried about overwhelming the customers. But I don't have customers. So I'm gonna start listing items every day until something. This is me talking to you from the future. This is future me talking to you 30 days in the future. Things didn't go quite as planned, but I shall explain that later in the video. Later, that word sounds weird. Later. Everybody has headphones, right? Right? So I printed this, which is a robot cat head. And you take your standard headphones, put it into the mouth, and they clamp down on the headphones, which is pretty cool. Keep them nice and secure in there, and then you can take them out, put them back in. Look at that. It also comes with a wall mount, so you can attach it to your wall. But I thought that was pretty cool, so we're gonna list this on Etsy and see how that goes. So my next item is gonna be the skeleton hand. I was a bit worried about using hot drinks on this, but down here it suggests using a thin cork pad or a print pad file. So I searched it up on Etsy to see if anyone else was selling them. They are, but then I also found this digital download file, which is by this Maria 2 person, and from what I can tell, Crack Drag does not also go by the name Maria 2, so it seems like this Maria 2 person is stealing files. I'm guessing they've stolen all of these. If they've stolen these 2, which are both by Crack Drag, they've probably stolen everything else as well. I tried to report it, but I can't because it's not my intellectual property. So I'm just gonna contact Crack Drag and leave it in their hands. But that's crazy. Also, the fact that 3 people have bought it in the last 24 hours, that's insane. Everybody needs something to keep their cups, hold the cup, I'll just show you. It's this little skeleton hand with a little coaster on top, and then you put your drink on and it grabs the can. I thought that's pretty nice. Okay, so now that's been posted, and I guess we move on to the next thing. And you're not allowed to judge me for this next thing, because if anything, if you think about it, it's kind of your fault that I had to sink to this level, but I printed a flexi toy. To be fair though, it's pretty damn cool. It even comes with a little bone that you can put in its mouth because it's got a chomping jaw. So yeah, so we're gonna list that. It even sits like a good boy. So we're gonna list that on Etsy. And now that that's listed, we've pretty much opened the floodgates for all sorts of flexi toys, right? So if you search flexi in Etsy, a little fun fact that I learned is if you choose star seller, but then change star over to best, it'll actually show you the best sellers. And there's this little skeleton keychain here, which is actually made by the same guy that made the Flexi Rex. So we're gonna print a couple of these along with some other keychains and see how that goes.
1 eternity later.
So it looks like everything has failed besides the hand there and that shark up there. What I was doing was printing different sizes of the keychains, 60%, 80%, and 100%. But I think the 60% failed, which then maybe caused the others to fail as well because stuff got in the way. So we might just delete the 60% ones and just go with the other 2. I think the 60% is too small anyway. I don't even know if you'd fit a keychain in the hole. And here they are. That's the 100% size, the 80% size, and the comparison between the 2. They actually turned out pretty damn good. I put them on little keychains with hooks. Sometimes I look at it and I'm not sure about the color, but I mean, it's skeleton color, so it makes sense. Yeah. Look at this. I woke up to a follower on my Etsy account. Oh, that's me. A follower. So that's cool. In other news, I bought this wood filament and printed this dice tower because the dice tower is still my most viewed item. So I figured maybe people like dice towers, even though everything I researched said otherwise. So I printed it. Next we have this can holder that's also got a dice tower built into it. It's actually got wood mixed in to the plastic. And then I had a genius idea, genius pending, to buy this walnut traditional spirit-based interior stain. So we're going to try this on that. I don't think that's right.
No bother. Double bother.
So it's dried. I think it's too dark. I actually probably prefer the original color. I don't know if you can see it in there. That's the original color in there. So I think I keep this one for myself and print just another one to sell on the store.
Tomorrow.
So I f***ed up. As you saw, I printed this, stained it. I wasn't really happy with the stain, so I thought I'll just reprint it. But before I went to reprint it, I put a can in here and it barely fit. Like, it took a lot of effort to put in and I could not get it out for the life of me. So I bought some Neapolitan coolers, can coolers, and I thought I'll just make the print a little bit bigger. I measured it so that I could make it bigger so that it would fit the cooler and the can. But it's now too big for the cooler because I didn't measure it accurately. And the can itself is too loose in this, and now if you tip it past like this point, oh, stuff like that happens. I got too confident in my 3D printing ability. I didn't test anything. I messed up, right? But then today, when I put the can in here to try and prove that it doesn't fit properly, it actually fits now. And it's still a bit difficult to take out, but it's much easier to take out. So I don't know what the hell's going in. I think I'm in the Matrix. Oh no, my hand has been turned into a skeleton hand. Ooh. I printed this because, I mean, I lost the day because of the mugs, so I needed something quick to print, and I thought this was pretty cool. Little flexi hand. You can put it on things and it sits pretty nicely. I don't know if this will ever sell. If this does sell, it will be very surprising to me, but I thought it was pretty cool, and Halloween's coming up. So it's officially the end of week 1, so I thought we'd do a little recap to summarize. The dice tower is still the most viewed thing, followed by the drink coaster, the controller, blah, blah, blah. All these things have 0 views, which is what it is. And here we have the final profit and loss report for the week. Mostly loss. We've got the Etsy ads, we've got the Patreons and the Thangs stuff. We've got the filaments, we've got the extra stuff like the wood stain and the keychains. We have down here, I did have to buy the skeleton Flexi Rex and the skeleton hand separately. So if we just do the math here, in my head, it comes out to a total of $209.53. So I got a comment on my previous business Etsy video. I don't remember verbatim what it said, but it was along the lines of, your photos are trash, get better photos. And I can't necessarily say that that comment is wrong, so we're going to try and improve the quality of the photos with this next product, which is a deck box. Welcome to the ground. I have this little mini shelf from one of my IKEA shelving units. So we're just gonna place that there. I then bought this card foam sheet, I don't know what you call it. So that's gonna be our background. So then we're gonna place the deck box on there like that. So the photos will look something like this. Then I think if we add some cards, oh no, not like that, you idiot. Cards over here like this, and some dice over here like this to make it a bit more dynamic. Maybe we have some better photos? I don't know, it's subjective, isn't it? We're also going to try using a professional camera to take the photos because I've just been using the video camera so far. So if we try this instead, we might get some better dynamic range. I was taking photos and I actually forgot that there's supposed to be magnets in the lid to keep it closed, but I did buy them, I just forgot to put them in. So I got the magnets and some Gorilla Glue, and we're just going to put that into the lid and try not to glue our fingers together. I want to show you, but it's sort of hard to show you and do it, so you're just going to have to trust me. And then we have to make sure we put the opposite ones in the bottom holes so we don't mess up. And a way to do that is to, oh, that just came out of the glue. Fuck. Trying to test which magnets go in the top, I've actually pulled the top ones out. So we're just going to let the bottom ones dry, and then we're going to put the top ones in. It's been about 10 minutes and the bottom ones should be dry now. So apparently if you put the magnet on and it sticks, then you attach the other side so that it sticks. So that makes sense. That makes sense, right? It makes sense to me. I've picked up the glue and it's like, I don't know if you can see that, it's stained like a white now, and I can't get rid of it. I tried isopropyl alcohol, I sanded this side back a bit and it doesn't look as bad. So I sanded it and heat gunned it, and now it looks like that, and I think it's better. I think it's pretty good actually. And it's up with the fancy new photos. I got that one, I got a video of it spinning. I've got the text on it saying magnetic lid, and I've got a back and a side view. So hopefully that addresses the comment saying that my photos aren't good enough, because I think these ones are pretty damn good. Next up, we're going to do this Amana Bun Lab, who makes magnetic puzzles, and I like this dragon one here. So we're going to print this and put it together. So we had a little bit of a printing failure. This is what it looked like after the board had finished printing. The issue is clearly on the right side here. So if we separate all these and then just print the ones on the right, and hopefully that might fix the issue. So that sort of worked. I thought 3 of the 4 pieces had printed correctly this time, and it was only this one here that didn't actually print properly. But then when I was looking at it closer, I also realized this one hadn't actually finished printing properly either. So maybe this guy is the actual issue. So if I print them separately, so that's printed, and I actually think this little guy was the actual issue because he's stringing out there. So I think he messed up the other print, because now this is also printed and this one's all good. So I've got all the pieces here. Of course, the holes for the magnets are a different size hole to the deck box, so I had to buy a new set of magnets. I hope there's enough. There's actually quite a lot of holes in these in each piece. So we're gonna glue them all in and put it all together.
Later.
I didn't do anything wrong, okay? But the dragon's done. You might notice it hasn't got a head. That's because the head, although it sticks, it doesn't stick very well. And I think that's because this magnet here and this magnet here are facing like they're sucking in, if that makes sense. And I think because this magnet, the back of it, is actually interfering with this, it's not really sticking. So I'm gonna have to try and reverse and flip some magnets around and see if that works better.
Later that same evening.
And they've all been flip-flopped and turned around, and it actually sticks properly now. And you just shake it and it doesn't fall off like a goddamn something that falls off easily. Shit. I printed these teeth for pumpkin carving. If only I had a pumpkin. Oh look, I have a pumpkin. Look how perfect the texture of it is. It's like a pumpkin from a cartoon show or some shit. And now we're gonna carve the pumpkin, and hopefully it looks nice, and add the teeth to it. And it has been carved, and now I just gotta add the teeth. I'm chopping up the teeth so that it can stick inside the pumpkin. Obviously, I'm not going to sell these ones. I'll print some new ones. And it's done. I can't talk with them in my mouth. So now I'm going to take some photos and put them on Etsy. Ugh. One of the most oversaturated markets on Etsy has to be like pot plants, like planters. So naturally, I printed one. It's a little melted woman pot plant. That's where the plant goes, and then it's got a little water tray for the catcher. So we're gonna list that. And now that's been listed, but yesterday whilst I was listing it, that's a tongue twister, I discovered that you can actually send an item offer to people that have favorited your items. And I've had a couple of favorites, 3 favorites out of the 50 that I've uploaded now, but whatever. And it's actually already sent an email off to one person. So hopefully that gets some traction and somebody finally buys one of my items. Okay, we're trying the mugs again. I have now printed 3 and like a third mugs to try and get this right. I have also printed these guys because I started testing things like I should have done from the very beginning. And what we're up to is this guy, which is actually a good size. He's also beveled at the top so you can fit mugs and stuff in. He also fits a cooler, coaster, whatever you want to call it, with a can in it. So hopefully we're on the path to success now. So I have the test mug here. I have covered it in a thick layer of black primer, maybe too thick, but it is what it is. And now we're gonna try some dry brushing with this metallic silver. Supposedly you just take a small amount of silver paint, or paint in general, take a brush. I have a makeup brush here because apparently they work just as well and they're cheaper. And then you dip it, and then you try and get all the paint off that you can. I have a microfiber cloth here, and they said just do it until you can't really see paint on the brush anymore. So then apparently you just gently go over the item you're trying to paint. And it's done. I think it came out okay. I definitely, like there, I forgot to just dry brush it and it's too thick. I think having like a spare part next to you that you can just test before you put it on the actual mug would help. But yeah, that's the test one done. I think now we try the real one. So I bit the bullet and bought a Bambu AMS Lite for a lot more by itself than it was in the pack, which I mean makes sense, but still like a lot more. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is it allows you to create multicolored prints like this one. Look at that, that's cool. And it lifts up to have a little alien inside, like that one scene from Men in Black. So yeah, we're gonna list this on Etsy. La 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 la. Next up, I have these cute little otter things and they've got magnets in their hands, so if they come close to each other, they grab on like that. Which is pretty cool. That's a closer look at them. So I'll probably sell these as a pair, because I think you need to sort of sell them as a pair. And the biggest pain in my ass, due to my own dumb, dim-wittedness, is finally done. I think it looks pretty damn good. Don't be confused, not actually metal, just dry brushed. But yeah, I think we can finally list this one. Thank God. So I printed my first thing with supports. This big chunk of support actually came from this bar in here. I've taken most of them off. There are still some here. So if we take these off as well. So we're gonna take the rest of the supports off, we're gonna prime it, and then we're gonna dry brush this. It's future me again. And I have some things to say, but it's very uncomfortable under here, so we're gonna... Okay, so that clip that you just saw with the chest, that was filmed 7 days ago now, and I haven't recorded anything since, but that doesn't mean I haven't been doing anything. I've actually uploaded this Ferdinand the Cow ice cream pint holder. It's got a little cookie tray in its ass that you can store cookies. That is all that I've uploaded, but I did also print this giant whale tissue box, but it printed with this giant ugly line here, and one of my biggest fears is somebody leaving a negative review for my first review, so I didn't list it. I also unlisted the dragon because it has this glue stain on the top of its head, and again, I don't want negative reviews, so I unlisted this. I did, however, make my own first 3D print that I'm pretty proud of. It's this little doggo right here, and you take your phone and it holds your phone for you, which I thought was pretty cool. And so the final cost is actually $865.73. A lot of that is the AMS, but it's also still a lot of money. And that's not to mention the recurring cost of $94.15, which is a monthly fee that I'll have to pay for all the models and designs. So, a lot of money. But that also leaves us at where do we go from here? I have had 44 views to the store. I've had 5 item favorites, mostly on the dice tree tower, but I don't know. It's also been a 20-minute video and it's been 30 days. So